You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
Welcome. Episode 183, The Calm Before the Storm. I can't wait. It's going to be a good one, y'all. Well, what we're talking about today, once again, politics has found its way into sports, and I really am disappointed about that. We're going to talk about it. Once again, March Madness is in full effect. We got good calls, good wins, bad wins. We're going to talk about that. Once again, we got athletes getting into their feelings again. Oh, we definitely going to talk about that. Once again, we got the MLB season on the horizon. My Braves need to know the World Series. We definitely going to talk about that. And, well, not once again, but we have a special guest joining us today. You got the usual three, Red, Rev, and the coach, and a special guest. I can't wait for you guys to see. You know us. Everybody knows us. And now we're going to welcome them to our sports show world. Let's get it started. I'm not going to waste any more time. Episode 183. Red, Rev, coach, and somebody else. Soon to be named.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show, episode 183. We're coming to you live from the ATL Show. Give me real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes who have what, gentlemen? Real sports knowledge. So hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, and the coach, plus our special guest. And you're going to have a great time on today. And as is our sports custom, we want to turn our sports attention to the very capable coach who's going to give us something or someone associated with 1, 8, and 3. What you got for us, Coach?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to go back. Since it is March Madness, I'm going to go back to the year 1983, where we were witness to a team, the Houston Cougars, who were the baddest team in the country, Phi Slamma Jamma, who was tearing everybody up. But they ran into the shot heard around the world in 1983 against North Carolina State when Whittingham shot the ball and Lorenzo Charles dunked the ball to defeat the highly favored Houston Cougars 54-52 in one of the biggest upsets in NCAA March Madness history. So that's what we got for 183 in 1983. The shot heard around the world as North Carolina State stunned the Houston Cougars, highly favored Phi Slamma Jamma, 54-52. What an upset.
All right. Coach just dismissed the 9 in the 1983 and just went 183. And just show the 9 no love, but it's okay. All right, that was definitely one of the greatest moments in NCAA history. Every time I see that clip, I'm always reminded of Jimmy B. God rest his soul, running around with his hands up. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful accomplishment by the NC State Wolfpack. They've never won a championship again. I don't think they've been to a championship game since 1983. So appreciate that remembrance, Coach.
Ain't nobody hugging all that crowd.
Yeah, man. All right, real quick, let's see who's tuned in. Good morning, Sister Sylvia Harris, a.k.a. my mother. She's showing some love, and she says she's ready for Red and Shelby, and she even pulled out the fire emojis. My Lord, goodness gracious. All right, good morning, Joe Black. Grand rising to you, Bill Brew, Lance Bill Brew. Glad to have you, sir. And others come on and chime in. If you're not watching on the Red and Rev Sports Show page, come on over. We'd love to have you so we can see your comments. Armani Newsom is in the house. Good morning to you, sir. The map coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. And Thomas Holcomb is checking in. Uh-oh. He is checking in from the midget turnstile. Hurley. I can't even read it, man, doing all that laughing, man. This guy got to be thinking about these things all week long, man. Oh, my goodness, man. I can't even read it, man. It's so crazy. But everybody, we're looking to have a great show, and we already know the Red and Rev Sports Show comedian is locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll, everybody. Red. So as Red alluded to, we got a special guest coming to the show, and here she is, everybody. Let's do it, everybody. Shelby is in the house.
That's the perfect music for her. Perfect.
Oh, here we go.
We can start if you want to. We can start if you want to. I don't mind.
I'm sure you don't.
They had it about. Everybody's ready to see them. Everybody's ready to see them. And
Shelby now frozen now.
Hey, Miss Harris. How are you?
Showing love to Shelby. All right, let's get started. Everybody's been looking forward to seeing Shelby, and we want to thank Shelby for joining us today and also letting her folks know she was going to be on the Red and Rev Sports Show on today. She said she came locked and loaded with the material. She showed us she done her homework, so we had to bring her in earlier, and she's going to join us with our dope, note, and cope segment of the show. And since she is our guest, and I've always heard the expression ladies first. So, Shelby, what are you doping on this week?
I mean, Red could go first, too, since he could be considered a lady.
Oh,
So my dope moment is the women's tournament this year. I haven't seen such great women's basketball in so long. UConn Baylor game was great. Stanford, South Carolina yesterday was incredible. I know everybody's saying they missed some calls, but South Carolina you had 2 chances to win at the end. It's no excuse. Stanford, I think, is going to take it. They've overcome a lot this season. Tara Dan Van Deer, whatever her name is, the winningest coach. She passed Pat Summitt this year. So the women's team has been, the women's game, the tournament has been really good. And I think, I know people think the pandemic is over, but it's not. And I think people have been watching them. And I hate that UConn lost last night. I really wanted to see them. I really wanted to see Paige Beckers because she is absolutely amazing, freshman. But I think the game is in good hands going forward in the future. UConn has all freshmen. I think they have 1 upperclassman on their team. So they're going to win next year. They'll definitely be back. And South Carolina is going to be back. Really, Red? I know you ain't talking. All that time you take. I'm sorry.
All right, so Shelby's doping on the women's NCAA.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
What are you doping on, sir?
I'm going to go to a small college, Augustana College, and look at one young man, Sam Byer. Sam Byer played a doubleheader, and he hit 7 home runs in a doubleheader. 7 home runs, including a grand slam, as they won 21-0 and 24-0. So, Sam Byer, you get my dope moment from little Augustana College. The Vikings won those baseball games.
Well, they were playing a little league team or something, man. Those scores.
I don't know, but he was hitting.
All right, man. Oh, yeah. All right, my bad, coach. Go ahead, Reb. What are you doping on, man?
I'm doping on Jeopardy and their new host won Super Bowl MVP. Former Super Bowl MVP and current NFL MVP Aaron Skeet Rodgers. He starts his new stint as Jeopardy host next week. And he had to thank one person in person, Miss Jodie Foster. So I'm trying to figure out what's the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Jodie Foster, because she sure did thank him when she won her Golden Globe recently, early last month. So dope. We got a Super Bowl MVP winning NFL MVP hosting Jeopardy. And I'm starting to think now that maybe Aaron Rodgers ain't this. Maybe he's more of a nerd than we think he is, man. And now I'm starting to see how he ended up with Shailene Woodley instead of Olivia Munn or Danica Patrick. I mean, if he's the nerd that I think he is, him and Shailene Woodley are perfect for each other. So dope to Aaron Rodgers for hosting Jeopardy, and dope on your new engagement.
All right, man.
Oh, yeah.
You've been definitely paying attention to the love life of Aaron Rodgers. All right, man. I'm doping on the deal.
He keeps it in public.
All right, man. You've been paying close attention. That's true. That's clear. But nevertheless, I'm doping on the Dia Barnes and Dawn Staley being the first 2 black coaches to be head coaches in the Final Four at the same time, and also dope to Dia Barnes for beating Gino Auriemma, sending her team to the championship game to play against Stanford on tomorrow. So good luck to Dia Barnes and the Arizona Wildcats.
Awesome.
All right, Coach, what are you noping on, sir?
My note moment goes to, and it's a good, and it ain't a good one, but it's just terrible. The Golden State Warriors. How do you, as an NBA team, lose by almost 60 points to another team? But you don't. I know your excuse. We didn't have Draymond. We didn't have Steph. We didn't have Clay. We didn't have Kevin Durant.
No.
We didn't have, I don't know, Nate Thurman. Go on back and name all of them that you got an excuse for. But you got beat by 57 points in an NBA game. Embarrassing.
No! No! No!
All right, Red, what are you noping on? And you can't
I'm
Aaron Rodgers relationships. Go ahead.
Okay, real. I'm noping on Baylor coach Kim Mulkey. Kim, I know you was very upset about the loss to UConn. I don't blame you, coach. But if you're gonna sit at a press conference and talk about you got pictures on your phone of the file, when you hold up your phone, could you please actually have pictures of the file instead of pictures of your text messages? Okay, coach. That's all I'm asking. I understand you're upset. I understand the emotion, but if you're gonna hold up your phone, actually hold up the picture that you're talking about. I mean, you're gonna say, I got a picture of the file. I got a picture right here on my phone. No, coach, those are your text messages. So take a look at the phone next time before you hold it up. That's all I got to say. Baylor coach, but sorry you lost. That was a bad foul. Should have been called. I understand. But hey, that's life.
Oh, come on!
All right, and I'm noping on the television network ESPN not having the Arizona Wildcats in the Final Four promo. They just dogged them out. They put South Carolina in there, UConn and Stanford, and left Arizona out. And now they got no choice but to put them in the promo for the national championship game. Come on, ESPN. Y'all got to do a better job.
You got to be kidding.
All right, Shelby, what are you noping on?
I'm noping on the NCAA. It was bad enough of the women's weight room, the swag bags, the dinner. And then you kicked Oregon out at 11 o'clock. They had just lost their Elite Eight game. And when they went back to their hotel, oh, y'all got to go. You have a flight at 1:15. We can do better. NCAA, y'all are getting it way wrong this year.
All right, the lady has spoken. And now we go to Red. Red, what are you coping on, sir?
Me, the first coach.
Well, we got 4 rotation this week, so that's why it works that way.
All right. Well, what am I coping on? I guess I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what Coach was talking about. It's time that we come to the sad. Well, I don't know how sad it is, but the realistic fact that Steve Kerr is becoming the George Seifert of the NBA. Now, let me explain that particular statement. You remember George Seifert? I'm sure Coach and Rev remember. Old 49ers head coach George Seifert started off his career, double-figure wins every season, 14 wins here, 11 wins there, 12 wins. His worst season with the 49ers was like 10-6, I think, and they missed the playoffs. And then good old George Seifert heads to Carolina, where he actually has to do some coaching, and those magical double-digit win seasons of George Seifert are no longer intact. His highest win total in Carolina was 8. 8-8, 3 seasons, 8-8, 7-9, 1-15. Goodbye, George Seifert. Thanks for coming. And I'm here to tell you, Steve Kerr, dude, it's becoming obviously clear that you are not this good coach that everybody made you out to be. Yeah, when Steph and Clay and Durant and Draymond were at their peak, when they were healthy, when you had all that talent balling with you every night, yeah, you this big, great coach. But dude, when you lose the talent, when injuries hit your team, when you have to do some real coaching, what do we get? 15 wins last year. You're barely holding on to try to make a playoff spot this year. You get blown the covers off of your last night.
I'm about to do Red. You getting the Shelby action right now. You are going to look.
I'll wrap it up. Bottom line, Steve Kerr, you have been exposed, dude. You are becoming the George Seifert of the NBA. I'm sure y'all got my point.
All right, man. All right. I am coping on UConn women fans, for I know they are struggling, not having won a national championship since 2016 after four-peating, and now they go yet another year not winning a national championship. So somebody look after UConn fans. They may be on suicide alert because this is uncharted territory for them. So we'll see if they bounce back next year. All right, Shelby, what are you coping on?
I'm coping on the USA men's soccer team. For once again, for the third straight Olympics, not qualifying. And they still get paid more than the women's USA team, soccer team.
Wow.
I mean, just stop playing. Just disband the team. It's embarrassing. Y'all didn't even qualify for the Olympics. Not that you didn't win. You didn't even qualify. You're not even going.
Wow.
Just disband the team. It's embarrassing. Give your money to the women.
They've exploded again. Good take, Shelby. Coach, round us out. What are you coping on?
I'm coping for one, Mark Gasol for the Lakers, who say he feels like he's not even playing C or D. You're really not, Mark. You're playing S for slow, because you have no business on that whatsoever, my brother. It was a bad fit when you came, and it's a bad fit now, and you need to go on and finish the year out quietly and then move on to retirement or to another team.
That's a good take right there. Thank you so much, Shelby, for joining us for Dope, Nope, and Cope. We're going to go to the fans right now, see what they're doping, noping, and coping on. Let's see what they got. Shelby, the folks love you. Somebody, Bill Bruce said you look familiar. Uh-oh, you didn't slash his tire, did you?
No, that's my coworker.
Okay. Shelby, some more love for you. Sister Renee
Hey, Miss
Hill.
Renee.
Oh, you know Renee?
Yeah, I used to work with Miss Renee.
Really? She used to be she was a member of my dad's church and still is. Wheat Street Baptist Church. All right, Joe Black is doping on Adia Barnes. Thomas Holcomb is doping on Kung Fu Panda. Still got something in the tank. Pablo Sandoval with that pinch hit home run. Unfortunately, the Braves lost. Vincent Woodruff, UFC 183. Talking about Shelby and Red. Bill Brew is doping on an all Pac-12 finals. All right. Vincent Woodruff is doping on Adia Barnes. Vincent Woodruff also pulling a red, got double dopes this week. MLB pulling the All-Star game from the ATL. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Miss Harris is doping on LeBron James, buying an apartment building in Akron to provide housing for homeless families of children who attend his I Promise School. That is pretty dope. My good. It's up to you, Vincent. Bill Brew is doping on Adia Barnes, daughter of a Southern Jaguar. Oh, that's straight. My daughter's a graduate of Southern, no doubt. Joe Black noping on Michael Rappaport, Kevin Durant. DM conversation. We'll talk about that in the second half. Red Moki, sure enough, had pics of her text between her and Gino. Vincent is noping on the NCAA women's officiating in South Carolina Stanford game. Okay. And Vincent is agreeing with Shelby. The NCAA needs to do better for women all the way around. And KD apologizing for those DMs. Seemed like Vincent vying to get back on the show because he fired up today. He said somebody had to hit the wrap it up button for Red. He's coping on was that Brad Beal fading away on that layup to win the game for South Carolina. Bria Beal, my fault. Mm-hmm. And Thomas Holcomb is coping on as long as the voting Georgia will not be considered for prime sporting events, and that's right. And Vincent is impressed with what Shelby's bringing to the table. Look at that. Look at that. And Joe Black is coping with the end of the Roy Williams era. We'll talk about that later in the show. And Thomas Holcomb, my comedy, qualified for the Olympics. All right. Thank y'all so much for chiming in. Feel free to post your comment, and you may see it on the big board during the course of the show. All right, that's the wrong one. But here we go. It's time to talk a little bit of basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Curtis Blow. Where are you? Thank you. Come on. It's time to talk a little March Madness, and we're going to start with the women's game. For the women's game, had a lot to talk about. Before we get to the Final Four, there was some pushback in the Elite Eight when it came to Baylor and UConn. And some might say it was poetic justice for UConn to get bounced out because they should have never been in the Final Four in the first place. With that being said, Shelby, we saw some of your commentary on Facebook about the Baylor UConn game. I'm going to ask you a straight question. Was Baylor cheated out of an opportunity to go and play in the Final Four when they did not call that foul at the end of the game? Tell us your take.
That was a foul. That was a 100% foul. Both girls went up to block the ball. However, there were a couple of fouls that were called a couple of minutes before that didn't really look like fouls. But the refs have been bad the whole women's tournament. The refs have just been horrible, missing absolute fouls. I'm like, what are y'all watching? If I can see it on TV, if my mama can see it on TV, you should be able to see it.
All right.
They were cheated, but it's a game.
Was Baylor shafted?
Well, that last foul was a foul, but I'm going to go back as being a former coach like you are. I'm going to fault Kim Mulkey some for that loss because, Kim, there is no way on God's green earth you let a team go on a 19-0 run without calling a timeout to stop that bleed. There's no way that should have happened. You are an experienced coach, and there's no way you should have let that 19-0 run happen to get UConn back in that game. If they had scored 8 in a row, I'm calling timeout, and we're going to get this thing right. But, Kim, I think you kind of messed up your team by not calling a timeout to stop the bleeding. Yeah, that call at the end was bad, but that was kind of egregious on Kim Mulkey's part as a veteran coach to allow that to happen.
None of that came because of Didi Richards going down, who was locking up Paige pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But still, you can't let a team score 19 straight points without stopping that game. I'm sorry. There's no way a team can score 19 straight. Like I said, 8-0 run. I'm stopping that thing, calling a timeout. Boom, we got to get this right. Let's change this up. Yeah, Didi Richards hurt. That was a good point, Red. That when she went down, that whole momentum shifted. But like I said, Kim got to do something to stop that bleeding.
All right, Red, you got any commentary on the Baylor UConn game?
I mean, I guess I can lean to what Coach said. Yeah, I mean, 19-0 run. Yeah, you got to do something to stop the bleeding. It was a dip, but they got cheated at the end. Now they definitely should have had opportunity to go to the foul line and try to tie the game up, put some points on the board. But yeah, you let them come on a 19-0 run without calling a timeout. That's bad coaching right there. That's a Lloyd Pierce move right there. So I don't know.
Here we go.
We got to take a shot at Coach Lloyd. Okay.
Leave it alone.
All right, I'll leave Lloyd alone. But yeah, that's a bad coaching move. And but still, Baylor still deserve the opportunity to go to the foul line.
All right, let's go to the Final Four now. Everybody's shocked UConn got put out. Everybody got introduced, if you didn't know, to Ari McDonald of the Arizona Wildcats, the wonderful special point guard for Arizona who has some swag. Shelby, I'm sure you watched a little of that game. What were your thoughts about the Arizona versus UConn game, and what did Ari McDonald show you?
They were just too much. They were too much for UConn. I mean, they shut down Paige Beckers, who was the player of the year, either the player of the year or the freshman of the year. They
Played
shut her
both.
down. Yeah, they
Yeah,
shut
she
her
was both.
down.
Yeah.
And everything pretty much runs through her. And when you shut her down, they didn't have an answer. I think it's going to be a good championship. I do. I hate UConn's going to be back. They got a team full of freshmen. They're not going anywhere. But I do like the fact that it's somebody different. I hate that UConn's not winning. I'm a UConn fan. But at the same time, I want somebody new to win. Let somebody who ain't never win something.
Yep.
Like the Hawks.
We got to go and fast and pray on that one. Red, I'm going to come to you, man. What are your thoughts about the the Arizona UConn game?
It was definitely a choke job and definitely a huge upset by the Arizona team. I'm kind of interested in this coach from Arizona now. I've been hearing about her. I guess I ain't gonna say the last couple of days, last few hours or late last night. I've been hearing about this lady, so I'm kind of interested in her. Guess I need to do my research on her a little bit later. But definitely impressive. Definitely impressive win by Arizona. I mean, you beat UConn now. But like Shelby said, you shut the best player down. You know, that's pretty much the key to stopping a juggernaut like that. And they did it. So, you know, that's pretty much going to glide them right to victory right there. You shut down, what's her name, Paige? Is that the chick that she's on the commercial, right? The blonde hair?
Yeah, she's got the blonde hair and she always has it braided across the front.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's what I thought she was. All right. Yeah, well, sweetie, you get shut down like that. Gonna be tough for UConn to win. But like Shelby said, they got a team full of freshmen. They'll be back. Coach Oriema, it's not his last stand, but good, impressive win by Arizona, and I'm definitely impressed by this head coach. What's her name again?
Adia Barnes.
Adia Barnes.
Okay, definitely gonna be looking her up real soon. Good win.
She played for Arizona too.
Yep, she did. She brought coaching talents from University of Washington over to Arizona, and Ari McDonald was supposed to go to Washington, but she followed Adia Barnes over to Arizona. Now, Coach, I'm going to ask you this question. Was it a choke job by UConn or just splendid play by Arizona?
Well, if you listen to McDonald after the game, she said that they pride themselves on their defense, and it pretty much showed last night. She was on, and to use the old cliche, she was on Paige Beckers like a dirty shirt. She was all over her. Mm-hmm. She was short, throwing up air balls, and when people did not know that McDonald was the leading scorer in the NCAA this year with 25 points, and it's a points a game, and it's amazing to see a kid that small, because she is the shortest person on the court, have that much talent. But like you said, Rhea, her demeanor is of, hey, you got to stop me. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you can't stop me, you're going to lose this game. And she did some moves, and she shot one, my favorite pose. You know, we talked about when she stood there like, what you going to do? And she basically told UConn, what you going to do? I'm going to shoot mine. I'm not going to stop shooting. So if you can't stop me, I'm going to stop you, girl. And they had that defense clamping down. UConn was not themselves the whole game. And they put the defense on them. And them against Stanford, that's going to be a good one because they know each other. So, hey, familiar foes. So that's going to be a very good ball game.
Now, the score suggests that it's not going to be a good ball game because early in the season, Stanford beat them by 20-some-odd points. Then the second time they played them, Stanford beat them by 14 points. So Stanford has bested them the previous two times that they played this year. But we do know the sports cliche, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So, Coach, I'm going to start with you. After Stanford wins a nail-biter against USC, and we know, and that's not just Southern California, South Carolina, and we know just as Shelby talked about UConn, they have basically everybody coming back as well. They're only losing one senior, so we should see a lot from South Carolina and UConn in the next year or two. But with the championship game coming, what do you expect Stanford and Arizona to do?
Well, basically, it's not. I can tell you right now, based on the way that both of them are playing, well, Stanford shouldn't be there, but that's another story. those two teams, Arizona has confidence through the roof now. So those blowouts in those first two games, I don't see it happening. I see Arizona stepping up, making it a great game. But now, if Arizona doesn't stop Keanu Williams and Wilson for Stanford, it will be a blowout. But I think that defense is going to improve. And if you want to get a prediction, Arizona, I think, falls a little short. I say they lose 72-69. They fall a little short. They make a good run, but Stanford, Vanderveer, that head coach who has so many years, the leading women's coach in history, pulls out another one and probably goes off into the sunset and retires after she wins this national championship. So I'll say Stanford 72-69.
You like Coach's assessment, Shelby? Are you going with him, Stanford being crowned the champions?
I'm going with Stanford. Those girls were on the road for 2 months. For 2 months, they were away from home. Not just away from home, but away from Stanford because California shut it down. They were on the road for 2 months. They've really been through hell this year. It's one thing to be away at school and you're used to your school bed, but when you leave your school bed for 2 months and you're in Vegas and you are eating, sleeping, drinking basketball and you're having to go to school online, it's a different world. That is a family now. They are for each other. Their team slogan this year is all in, and I believe they're all in. They've lost 2 games this year, and they were back to back. I don't think you can beat. And that little girl, Haley, she's not small. Anyway, Haley Jones is a beast. I do not want to see her in an alley. That girl is huge. And she's good. And I love the way that even after South Carolina lost, their best friend plays for South Carolina. And they didn't go and celebrate with their friends and their teammates. They went and consoled their friend who missed that last shot. And in her interview, she said, well, that's my best friend. While I'm enjoying my win, I have to see my best friend because she missed that shot, and they just loved on her. And I said, that's a different kind of group of kids than I've ever seen. And I think that Stanford team is special, and Tara Vanderveer has them clicking right now. I don't think you can beat them.
So in essence, you're saying that Stanford is going to get double for their trouble this year, having to go all the way around and not be able to play at home. All right, Red, do you have a take? Do you have a dog in the women's championship race?
Did you even watch the game?
I do have a take though. I'm gonna go with Coach Barnes. I'm gonna go with the young sister to pull an upset. She the underdog team. I'm gonna go with Lil McDonald. I like my boy Vince's assessment of it. It's gonna be a tough out for them. I like the defense, so who knows? They on the roll right now. They feeling a little momentum. It's a championship game. Anything is possible. Like I say, they still the number 3 seed. They're not the number 1 seed like Stanford, but they're still number 3 seed. So I'm gonna give Coach Barnes a chance. Who knows? Maybe she can pull the upset. And I will watch that game, Shelby.
All right. Well, Shelby called out Red, so it's moved him to watch the game. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna go with Adia Barnes as well. Not because I really think that they have the better team. I believe in what Dick Vitale would say Uncle Mo, momentum. And I think tournament momentum matters. I'll never shall forget when Georgetown had Villanova's number back in the 80s when Patrick Ewing played, and then Georgetown beat the brakes off Villanova twice, and then when they got into the tournament, Villanova pulled off the upset. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something along that line with Arizona. They have the momentum, they have swag, and they feel like they've been mistreated all along, being left out of the promos. People didn't give them a fighting chance against UConn, so they have nothing to lose. Plus, it helps that you've already played your opponent in the championship game 2 times, so you pretty much know what to expect. So we'll see what happens on the national championship. Let's switch gears real quickly, go to the men's game. The Final Four begins tonight. We have Baylor going against Houston, and then we got UCLA going against Gonzaga. So I'm going to start with you, Red. Who's going to win the 2 Final Four games to play in the championship game, and then go ahead on and tell us your champion, because we won't have another show before the championship game is played.
Oh boy, way to put Red on the spot for the college games. Well, I've been thinking long and hard about this.
So you've not been put on the spot then, since you've been thinking long and hard. Go ahead. You set yourself up for that one, but go ahead.
To be fair, you've known for a week who's playing. So.
I'm gonna go. I'm feeling the upset type of guy. Gonzaga. You know, we've been waiting for a while for them to get over this hump. They choked before. You know, the lights get brighter. That's when they get tighter. So hey, UCLA, you got a win in you today, buddy. We're gonna see. I'm taking UCLA. One more choke job for Mark Few. And in the other game, I'll go with Baylor. Baylor versus UCLA for the title. Baylor will win out. Number 1 Baylor.
All right. So Red has Baylor cutting the nets down. I'm going to go to Shelby. Do you agree with Red's assessment?
Absolutely not. If I ever agree with Red. Earl didn't stop spinning, did it? I do think Baylor will win, and I think Gonzaga will win. They've won 30. I didn't realize this. I was watching ESPN this morning, and they've won 30 games the last 6 years. I hate for them to choke this time. I mean, they're undefeated. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I mean, they're the Bulldogs. They're not the real Bulldogs. They're the little Bulldogs. They're the big Bulldogs. But I think Gonzaga wins the championship.
All right, so Red has Baylor. Shelby has the Zags. Coach, who do you have? Winning the Final Four games and then the championship.
As far as Baylor and Houston, I think Houston has been living on fumes. They hanging on, and it's amazing that Kelvin Sampson is again being talked about, and you just wonder, due to his past indiscretions, is he going to be listed as one of the great coaches of all time, or does he just inherit good teams and say, okay, I can win. So I'm still going to go with Baylor to take Houston out. Baylor has some jackrabbits. They run up and down the court, and they don't mind making you play their game. So I'm going to go with Baylor in that one game, and UCLA and Gonzaga. I talked about this. I'm talking about UCLA using your term for Vital. I got that Uncle Mo on their side, because who expected them to go from a play-in team who had to play in just to get in the tournament to a Final Four? Nobody. So I'm actually going to go with UCLA to sneak by Gonzaga. And one of the biggest upsets that'll probably be to date. And then probably they can't win the national championship. I think Baylor is going to win it. If Gonzaga's not there, it's going to be Baylor. But, yeah, I'm going to take UCLA to squeak by Gonzaga in some kind of miracle. They play close game.
Who would have thought me and Coach would pick the same teams?
So Coach and Red got Baylor. Shelby has the Zags. I'm going to go with the Zags to beat UCLA. I think the slipper falls off for UCLA. Who would ever thought we would be calling UCLA Cinderella, but they are an 11th seed this year. But I do believe the buck stops in the Final Four for them. Guard play matters. Jalen Suggs is the truth. And I think Jalen Suggs, along with CRISPR, they're going to be too much for UCLA. UCLA is too dependent on the young man. I forget his name, who had a solid game. But I think he's going to be shut down because Gonzaga just has too much depth. Baylor, same reason. Guard play matters. They have the better guard play than Houston. And I look at Baylor beating Houston, and therefore we got Baylor and Gonzaga, and that's going to be a tough matchup. And I'm going to give the nod to Baylor. I'm going to go with my co-host to go with Baylor. I like Baylor. I think Baylor is on a redemption tour in terms of their program. Before Drew got there, Baylor was a mess. They had all types of court cases, criminal cases, and I just think this is a good year for redemption to show how a program can be turned around in the right direction. So I'm going to go with Baylor with the redemption story to beat Gonzaga. Mark Few falls short one more time. All right, so we got 3 Baylors and 1 Gonzaga. We'll see if the lady was right, and we may have to eat crow on next week's show. All right.
Red does every week.
And there we go. All right, let's switch gears. We're going to switch sports right quickly. And we know that there was supposed to be an MLB All-Star game in Atlanta or in Cobb County, since we all live in the metro area on the panel. We know that Truett Park is not in Atlanta, but it's in Cobb County on South Cobb Parkway, matter of fact. But nevertheless, we know that the All-Star game was pulled yesterday from Atlanta because of the voting laws that have been passed, which were really voting suppression laws that were targeted against minorities, such laws as you can't hand people water. They cut souls to the polls out. They're cutting early voting out, so forth and so on. So we really see that they were trying to target the minority vote, which propelled Democrats to help Georgia give Biden a win in November, and then also to elect 2 Democratic senators in Georgia, which has never been done before. So, Shelby, we're going to start with you. What were your thoughts about the MLB All-Star game being pulled out of Atlanta?
I really had a lot of thoughts. I applauded the MLB for taking a stand. I haven't read the entire bill. I know kind of what's in it and what all is in it. So I applaud them for that. On the other hand, the people who work at the stadiums, the people who work in the hotels around the stadium, the people who work in the restaurants, those people have jobs that are, due to the pandemic, some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them are barely making it, barely scraping by. And this would have helped a lot of people. So while I understand why Major League Baseball did it, and I agree somewhat with it, I just feel badly for those people. It doesn't hurt the GOP. Kind of it does, kind of it doesn't. But it really helps the small business owners who were depending on the All-Star game to maybe make it through this year. And those waiters and waitresses and bartenders who haven't had tips and who haven't had jobs. So while I understand why they did it, I feel like it hurt the wrong people. It hurt the people who needed the money the most. And those were the small business owners and the vendors. And I had a dear friend who used to work at Turner Field. He was a concierge person, and he worked at the seats where they would bring you the food. And so many times people wouldn't tip. And his livelihood was made on those tips. So I don't really know how I feel about it. It feel bad. Again, I feel bad for those small people who needed that money. But I do think that Major League Baseball had to take a stand. And I wonder what's next.
All right, good take. Coach, we'll come to you now. Your thoughts on the MLB removing the All-Star game away from Atlanta?
Well, Rev, I feel bad for one of our favorite places, Big Chow Grill. They won't have them extra people in there. I had to sneak a Big Chow
at the Galleria.
Yeah. But
the Galleria still open? Oh.
Yeah.
They still there. It's just 5 words. I mean kind of wanted to, 5 words. Brian Kemp is an idiot. Let's just call it what it is. Don't dance around it. He's an idiot because you are going to hurt your state by producing a law, a bill, which you got to know that it goes against basically low-income voters. That's the bottom line. You're trying to hurt voters because those are the same voters who went out and voted, did everything they had to do to get to the polls to vote for the presidential election. Now you saying, oh, my election is coming up in 2022. I better try to slow some of these voters down. Well, Brian Kemp, all you did, just like I heard Steve Harvey said, and Donald Trump did it too, you've enacted a force Now you awaken a voting force of African Americans who are going to get up now and say, okay, so you want to try to stop us? Okay, we got a plan for that. I'm going to bring some water and snacks in a fanny pack. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do everything I can to get to the voting, to the polls and vote. And Mr. Kemp, you're on your way out sideways, but removing the All-Star game, that was the best thing they can do. And if they had put this bill in place before the NBA All-Star game, it would have been yanked because they wouldn't have wanted to come to Georgia. So, Brian Kemp, you trying to hurt basic minority voters, but you're hurting your state because here comes Final Fours. They ain't coming. All-Star games, they're not coming. People are going to start to trickle away and not bring events to Georgia because you want to show them that I'm going to try to be governor again and make laws to hurt people. So I'm glad they did it. And then, like I said, I hope everybody stops coming until he decides, hey, this was not a good bill. Let's remove it.
Red, jump in.
I believe what Coach and Shelby said. I mean, I'm just gonna continue to add to it. It's sad that politics got to get involved in sports, but the saddest thing is, like Shelby said, is that the people who were dependent on that extra income, the businesses that are probably gonna be hurting because of yanking the big events like the MLB All-Star Game away. And I think, that shows you how desperate and how vengeful the GOP can be. They so sad that the state is blue now. So now they're going to try to get some type of revenge on us. Like Coach said, it's not going to work. We will figure out a way to get our votes in. We will figure out a way to get our voices heard. You're not going to stop that. All you're doing is hurting your own political career. You're hurting the reputation that Atlanta has as having big events. And me personally, I like big events coming to my city. And I'm disappointed for one that you're taking away the All-Star game. But like everyone said, a statement has to be made. We're not going to stand for suppression. We're not going to stand for racial inequality. We are going to have our voices heard and we're going to have our votes counted. So sorry, Governor, if things didn't turn out the way you wanted in the last election. But dude, you are committing political suicide. Like I say, jump in the back seat with Thelma and Louise and drive your political career right off the Grand Canyon because it's going all the way down, sir. And I just hope, like I say, I pray that Stacey Abrams is the next governor of this state. And I hope things can get reversed. But this bill was a very stupid, asinine bill signed by our very stupid, asinine, gutless governor, Brian Kemp.
I'm going to agree with everybody's takes, great takes. As we've heard the cliche and the hashtag Black Lives Matter, I'm going to add in leadership matters. And one of the things that happens when you assume leadership, the people whom you lead will be affected one way or another by the decisions that you make. We know that Brian Kemp, along with the Secretary of State, they were under extreme pressure because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump fostered the lies before the election even took place. He had already planted the seed of doubt before there was one vote casted because he had already placated upon the hearts and minds of his followers that he could not lose unless there was fraud going on. So he planted the seed of voter fraud before there was one vote casted. And because he lost, and he lost by way of the same thing he tried to demonize, which were absentee ballots, which he used himself in order to be able to vote in Florida. So therefore, it's a shame that Brian Kemp, in trying to salvage his political career and his worship of Donald Trump after Donald Trump is going out for him because he didn't turn the election in his favor. Now Brian Kemp is trying to satisfy his own political ambitions, as well as the rest of the GOP that runs Georgia. Because a lot of people don't understand who live outside of Georgia. There's Atlanta, and then there is Georgia. Georgia is no different than any other southern state like Mississippi or Alabama. It's red outside of Atlanta, but due to the population of Atlanta having millions of people now, or metropolitan Atlanta having millions of people, you have Atlanta coupled with pockets of Augusta, Columbus, and Savannah, which allows Georgia now to be a blue state. And really, they passed this law too far in advance, because now they have given Georgians, and particularly Democrats and Black Georgians, ample opportunity to strategize and galvanize to offset all of the foolishness that they just put in place with this bill. And Black Georgians have even more of an incentive to vote, because Stacey Abrams is going to be running against Brian Kemp. And then also Raphael Warnock is going to be back on the ballot again, because his seat that he got was vacated due to retirement. So he'll be running again in 2022. So Blacks have all the incentive. You got Stacey Abrams, Raphael Warnock, plus voter suppression. You might see even record numbers again for Black voters. And I was all in favor for MLB taking the game out. I don't think Georgia deserves any event of any significance. And yeah, I hurt for the people that Shelby talked about, because those businesses in Atlanta beyond Cobb County needed the money. The hotel industry, the travel industry has taken a major hit in Atlanta. We lost the Final Four due to COVID last year. We got other events that have not taken place, but we have to understand those things happen when you got poor leadership. Leadership matters, and people who you lead are affected by the decisions that leaders make. So that's my take on it. And I don't want to see any events coming to Atlanta until something is done with that voting suppression law. All right.
I don't think any coming. That's sad, because no telling what type of money we could have had. I mean, I'm looking at more than sports world. I wanted some other events coming here, but I don't even think they coming now. So you're right. Unless Stacey Abrams is voted governor, it's going to stay just like it is. Nobody's going to come here. Not with Kemp in charge.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch gears real quickly before we let Shelby go. She's done a phenomenal job, and somebody said they love the camera chemistry. So we got to see if we can work her into the show a little bit more often if she's willing. So we'll see, maybe once a month. We'll see what her schedule allows for her.
Oh, man, please don't cry.
Red is not in favor.
It's not my fault. I'm America's sweetheart. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Sweetheart.
Oh,
yes,
man.
I was dubbed that by my friends. I'm just sorry that the fans love me. And again, your viewership has increased. I mean, sorry. I told you.
All right,
one show she already acting like a diva.
Oh,
No,
here we
I
go.
told you last week that your viewership would increase when you put me on, and I think that's obvious.
Real. Have you checked the ratings yet?
We'll check it afterwards.
All of the comments been about me.
We might be in cancellation mode.
No, that would be you, not me.
No, seriously. I have enjoyed, surprisingly. I have enjoyed.
Oh my God, look, it's been nice.
All right, that's breaking news. We appreciate that, Red.
Somebody
all right, we're gonna move on. Last time,
she's not acting like herself today. She actually being nice today.
I act like this all the time.
Well, she's been insightful, and we appreciate what she's added to the show today. Plus, she's given us another beautiful face, so we truly appreciate it.
That is true, and we never would have got soccer talk in without you, Shelby. So thanks. You're expanding our horizons.
Okay, we're going to talk Georgia football real quickly. Everybody should know, if you've been paying attention to Shelby's comment, that she is a graduate of University of Georgia. That's one thing that Red and Shelby do have in common. Not that they both graduated from Georgia.
He wasn't a graduate.
Are both Georgia football. I reworded it. They are both Georgia Bulldogs fans. All right, so they do have that in common. And we're going to talk two particular subject areas when it comes to Georgia football. First, we know that they've had some major injuries to take place during spring practice. Their best wide receiver, Brother Pickens, went down with an ACL injury. He will be out for the 2021 season. Then that freshman phenom receiver, Brother Burton, went down, but his knee injury or leg injury doesn't seem to be as severe as Pickens, and they only are predicting him to miss out for the rest of the spring practice. So with that being said, with Pickens going down, what do you think about the future of Georgia football going into 2021? Do they have a realistic chance to make some noise without Pickens?
It's next man up. It's next man up. It kind of is what it is. Injuries happen. Jacob Eason, next man up. It goes back to Robert Edwards, next man up. The team is loaded. We don't just depend on one person. Listen, the loss of George Pickens hurts. He's a phenomenal player, and I hope, Lord help him, he has matured somewhat since last year, because, spraying water in the face of somebody. He's a child. George Pickens is a child. And maybe he needs an injury to sit him down and calm him down and let him grow into the Georgia man that he can be. But I'm sorry he got hurt, but he hurts us in some ways too. Sometimes he doesn't run full out. Like, I need you at a full run when you are trying to catch a ball. I've had the same problem with Julio Jones. Like, we pay you a lot of money to catch the ball. You have one job, catch the ball. George Pickens doesn't always give 100%, and his antics off the field sometimes overshadow his greatness. He can be great, but he's got to mature, and maybe sitting down is the Lord's way of sitting him down and making him showing him that, bruh, we can do it without you. You not this whole team. We're a team here. I like our chances. I know we have a quarterback. I know some other teams don't. I know that Florida is always going to be locked and loaded. Tennessee, I'm not worried about. Missouri, not worried about. South Carolina, not worried about. I think our only one, Clemson, I hope I get to go. I have in-laws who get season tickets, so they're like, we got tickets, and I hope I get to go to the Clemson game. I will be there in full red. I've got to find a new outfit so that I can be seen through all the orange. But next man up, George Pickens, you have to learn your lessons. And if this is the way, Rev, you're a reverend, sometimes God sits us down at certain times when we have to be sat down. And maybe this is the time when he just needs to sit down and learn some maturity.
I never would have thought you taking such a theological take makes so much sense, but you were definitely right. And you've been spot on in your analysis in terms of the antics of George Pickens has gotten more prime time than actually his play. And for you to bring out the theological point that maybe he has to sit down to learn that everything doesn't revolve around him. And wouldn't be ironic if Georgia won a national championship without him? That would be the epitome of learning your lesson. So that is an interesting take. And I appreciate you bringing a take that I would probably bring to the show, but you went there and that was excellent take. So real quickly, before I ask the guys to chime in on what you said, I'm going to show you Georgia's schedule real quickly, Shelby. And I want you to be college football Nostradamus for us for your Georgia Bulldogs. All right. Here's the schedule right there. They have Clemson, UAB, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky. Then they have the cocktail party against Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, Charleston Southern, and then they conclude the season with your favorite rival, Georgia Tech. So looking at that schedule, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. Shelby Nostradamus, what is Georgia's record going after the 2021 season? Also, tell us if they win the SEC championship, and do they go and play in the Final Four of college football, and do they win the national championship? Tell us.
I think Clemson might be a challenge. Clemson's good. Clemson is a lot like Alabama. They stay locked and loaded at all times, even though they're losing Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they may not. It may not be a blowout. I think Georgia wins. Hope them. Florida's all. I don't care who's up and who's down. Florida is always a hard game. We play each other hard. We play each other as if we hate each other, and we do. I'm not worried about Tech. I'm sorry, Kelly. Don't mean that ugly, but Tech is the least of our worries. Kind of like UAB and Charleston Southern. Y'all see, those are games DeJuan Mathis could have. No, yeah, he could have played those. Bless his heart. I hope he's doing well.
Taking shots at the new Temple quarterback.
I hope he does well. I hope his brain injury has healed, and I hope he does well. But maybe football is not for you. Everything is not everybody's ministry, and maybe football isn't his ministry.
So what's the record, Shelby? What's the record? I
think 13-1.
And they lose too.
Hate to say it, but I think Clemson.
So that means they win the SEC, because that means they would have run the table.
Yeah, we were on the table in the East.
So they win the SEC championship.
I hope so, but the West. It is the West. Alabama is our Achilles heel. We beat LSU, hands down. Because y'all got other stuff going on now. Y'all ain't got time to worry about football. Yeah, we win it. I'm going out.
All right. And then are you declaring national championship or just a Final Four berth? Oh, Shelby is on record.
I'm going on record. We win it this year.
The Georgia Bulldogs, according to Shelby Nostradamus, will be the 2021 college football champions. Yes. Now, before I go to Red Coach, Shelby is your personal fan. She loves you the most out of all of us. Now, you're on camera. Do you agree with Shelby's assessment?
Of course not.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all,
don't be trying to be cute, Delco. Tell it like it is.
Go ahead and tell me the truth. It's fine.
You look at that Clemson game. That determines everything. I say the winner of that game has that inside track to the Final Four. Now, will it eliminate one of them, the loser? I don't think so, because Georgia can come back with that schedule. They can pretty much walk through it. But that Florida game, I just don't know how they respond in the Florida game. It seems like they have the talent to beat Florida, but sometimes they trip up and somebody gets the hot foot and they can't beat Florida. That's going to be the game to determine if they go to the Final Four. Winning the SEC, Alabama, Shelby said it herself. Alabama it lost a lot. But next man up, they just bring another player in and plug in a position and keep going. So if they beat Alabama and get in the Final Four, Georgia got a good shot at the championship. Will they get there? You got to look at Ohio State and those outside teams from the SEC. There's going to be a roadblock. And the only reason I say they're not going to win it because Kirby makes bad decisions sometimes in big games.
All right.
True statement.
Red, you've heard Shelby. You've heard Coach. Who are you leaning towards listening to?
Well, I would guess Shelby. She's a UGA fan. So pretty much, I kind of agree pretty much with what she said. I got us winning the SEC.
The world will be ending later today.
Huh?
No, she said because you agree with her, the world's going to be ending later today. But keep on going.
It might. Well, she is. I mean, you're a UGA fan, so of course we're going to agree that we're going to win the SEC. Of course, I'm going to agree that we're going to make it to the Final Four. And of course, I'm going to agree that we're going to win it all. So what do you expect me to say? So, but Pickens' injury, that's a good assessment on that. He does have diva-like behavior, and he is a little immature. So, I mean, but this injury, I mean, he'll be ready for the pros next season on. So he won't even
No.
No, he won't.
Mm-mm.
Well, he got one more year.
He should not go. That is somebody who need to sit in
He
school.
should not go. That don't mean he's not gonna go.
He need
But
to sit in school. Somebody need he need to get a
but
degree.
as far as, like you say, his
Make
injury
sure
is
you
not
know how
gonna
to spend your money. Because I don't think he gonna have none left.
well, his injury should not derail our season. Like Shelby said, next man up. I agree with that 100%. Next man up. If we don't have somebody to replace Pickens, then Kirby for one definitely ain't been doing this job. And if we have these high-ranking classes each year, then one receiver going down shouldn't derail the entire season. But still, Kirby, I got that Dan Quinn niche that I had with him with Kirby, man. It's always that one game a year that we shouldn't lose, that we probably will lose, which means we'll probably beat Clemson, and I'll probably be high thinking, okay, now it's going to be full steam ahead. We're just going to cruise right through the SEC. Nope. It'll be that one game.
Losing a doggone Missouri.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a team like Missouri that we'll probably lose to. We'll beat Florida. We'll beat Clemson. We'll beat everybody else. We'll lose to Missouri, and somehow that game will affect us in the end. But hopefully it won't, because I still expect to have one loss that we shouldn't have. But hopefully that one bad loss won't affect us. I still expect to be in the SEC championship game with a victory. I still expect to be in the college Final Four, and I still expect to win it all. Look, Kirby's job is to win a championship, not just get there, not almost get there, not are we up and coming contender. We expect to win it every year. We supposed to have won it 3 years ago. We still got to get back there. So we are a contender every year, and I expect to win it every year. And any year we don't win it, it's a huge disappointment and another sting in Kirby's belt.
Did you say beat Clemson?
Yeah, beat Clemson. Win the game. Clemson.
You think they're going to?
They got a good shot. Remember, Trevor Lawrence ain't gonna be there now.
Yeah.
Let's be reminded. Etienne ain't gonna be there, so they're rebuilding. And Georgia,
I don't know who
those are the games we usually win.
Yeah, Georgia got.
We'll probably lose to UAB or Missouri.
Georgia got more. Georgia has more veterans coming back than Clemson does. I mean, they are bringing basically everybody back on their offense. So Georgia has a good shot beating Clemson. Remember, this is the Trevor Lawrence-less Clemson and the Etienne-less Clemson. But I will agree. I think Georgia definitely has a great chance of winning the SEC championship. The schedule is definitely in their favor. Even if they trip up against Clemson, if they run the table, they should be in the SEC championship. Alabama will definitely be there to play against them, and maybe some other team in the West may rise up. We don't know, but it's going to be Georgia's season to be able to make that next move. If they can't make it next year, I don't know when they will make it. All right. So as everybody else who are Georgia fans, I'm nervous about Kirby Smart. And then I need to make sure that JT Daniels is not a chump killer. That's my nervousness about JT Daniels.
Once he shaved that porn star mustache, he was fine.
Hold on. One thing, real quickly. Red said that Georgia will be on a high. Are you talking about a sports high or a cookies and cream high?
Huh?
Are you talking about a sports high or a cookies and cream high?
What you mean?
All right, check your post that you normally post, and then you'll get what I mean.
Hey, Real, is one player.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Cookies and cream, that don't mean nothing to you.
I'm saying you said, when did I say Georgia will be on a high?
You said you would be on a high if Georgia wins. So I'm asking you, will it be a sports high or a cookies and cream high?
Oh, a sports high.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Coach.
Real, is one player, if Kirby uses this guy like he's supposed to, then I can see them winning a lot of games. And that's Donnell Washington, the tight end.
Oh, yeah.
They'll beat everybody, because that boy caught a pass one time and ran over 3 people all the way got to the end zone. They had the game tackle. That's a big dude.
Yeah. Washington needs to be Georgia's Pitts this year.
Yeah.
Period. That's how he should be used. I appreciate Georgia want to keep everybody fresh, But there's a time and place. You just got to let people play. Stop taking people out every other play, trying to, show your depth. Man, you got to give people get a chance to get in the groove. And that boy Washington should never really be taken off the field unless he just dog-tied just because of the matchup problems that he presents for other teams secondary. He should be one of the top players in college football beginning next year because he is a matchup nightmare. And he should not be spending more time on the sidelines than he is down in the three-point stand. But with that being said, Shelby, you've been phenomenal today. We thank you so much for
your
time.
Fun.
Everybody, won't y'all show Shelby some love for doing such a phenomenal job?
Winning.
Yoo-hoo, baby.
All right, and we're going to have to get her, see when she can come back and join us again. We truly appreciate you so much, and we look forward to the next time that you are on our show.
Everybody have a great Easter.
All right, thank
Easter.
you so much, Shelby.
Bye.
And have a great time. It's officially halftime of the Red and Red Sports Show. We got one more half. We're going to talk a little basketball, NBA action. We got an MLB preview, and we'll talk a little bit about the draft coming up with the NFL. Hang out with us for a little bit. It's officially halftime. We'll be right back. And we are back. And again, we want to thank Shelby for being such a wonderful guest. She added a lot of knowledge and also some great commentary to our show on today. And we are grateful to have her. And we're glad that she wanted to be on the show and that she made herself available to be on the show. Red, real quickly, how would you assess Shelby's performance on the Red and Red Sports Show today?
Impressive, very informative. Like I say, pleasantly surprised that I was impressed. So, good job, Shelby.
He said, pleasantly surprised. Were you surprised, Coach?
I mean, it was. I mean, she was informative. Like I said she prepared. So hey, she was on top of her game. He didn't get much behind. A lot of people were impressed. Were liking the dynamic or the back and forth with her and Red, and I'm glad it stayed for the kids version.
Yeah, we can't get. Yeah, I can't antagonize her too much because we know it's a family show. I don't want us getting fined off Facebook because Shelby and me Shelby don't lost her temper now.
Red says, you see Thomas Holcomb at the Aardvark bungee jumping
on Animal Planet.
Oh my goodness, that boy. Something happened to DMX?
Yeah, man, he's in the hospital in bad condition. He had an overdose.
Oh man, that's something. Yeah. The comments are coming in real quickly. Yeah, we'll lift up a prayer for Rapper DMX. Thomas said, nice to have a pretty face on the show, but Coach, it's that's a good one. UFC 183 ended in a tap out. She was ready to take Red down on the mat. Red didn't have a great counterpunch. They have to train hard for the rematch.
Lord. Oh my
All right. Well, that's some good fun, and we definitely wouldn't mind having Shelby back on the show, especially with the insight that she did provide. With that being said, gentlemen, we're going to go back to baseball. You all are the baseball aficionados. The baseball season has officially started. Opening day was on Thursday. And now the baseball season has officially started. And for our MLB preview, I'll do this. The boys of summer are up, batting, and ready to have a good time. And we're going to start with our MLB preview. We know that most of the panel, or all the panel, are Braves fans. The Braves started off 0-1, base running issues, hobbies. That's what cost them the championship, the NLCS last year, base running. So we still have base running problems. But nevertheless, let's go into your preview. Let's get it, the division winners, and then give us your World Series champions. So we'll go with the NL first, then we'll go to the AL. So Red, go first, man.
Okay. The AL, I still like Tampa Bay over there. I know the Yankees and Red Sox coming up strong, but
NL first.
Oh, NL first. Okay. Well, of course, I got the Braves coming out the East. I'll probably take maybe the Cardinals or the Brewers coming out of the Central. And, of course, I'll take the Dodgers coming out of the West. The wild card teams, definitely the Padres are one. And I ain't gonna get these teams in the East that much credit right now. I'll say the other wild card to come from the Central. I'm not sure which team yet, but it'll definitely be one from the Central, one from the NL West. I think the Braves gonna spank up on the NL East, and we'll be the only team coming from that.
Real quickly, did they go back to the old format with only 2 wild card teams, or are they keeping the 4 wild card?
No, 2. I wish they went back to 8. I mean, like 8 on each side, but I think it's just gonna be 5 on each side again. Very disappointed about that.
5. Oh, you talking about the 3?
Yeah, 3 division winners and the 2 wild cards.
And then the wild card teams ballot out again to see who they play?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Coach, who are your NLCS divisional leaders?
Of course, the Braves in the East. St. Louis wins the Central. The Dodgers squeak out the West. And the wild card, everybody hyping San Diego. I think they pitching. I don't know how it's gonna be. They got a couple, but I'm gonna say for the wild card, the Cubs, and I'll throw a new team out there, Colorado.
Rockies after they traded Arenado.
Yep.
Oh, Coach, now you going out on a limb with that one? You must know something. I don't know.
All right. So who's the NLCS champion?
I got Braves versus, surprisingly, the Padres.
And Braves win.
And the Braves beat the Padres in 5 games.
Who you got, Coach?
Braves and Dodgers again. This time the Braves right the wrong. That was with that 3-1 lead last year, and they win it.
So how are the Braves the favorite, according to you all, when the Dodgers have probably the more dynamic pitching as well as more dynamic hitters in their lineup? What propels the Braves to go and beat the Dodgers?
Well, I think our pitching staff has gotten healthier. That was our problem last year. If you remember when we got up to 3-1 lead, Rev, remember they tried that silly little, we're gonna throw AJ Minter out there for the first 3 innings. Then we're gonna throw another guy out there for the first couple of innings. And remember, they were trying to do that in the deciding 5th game when we was up 3-1.
I remember.
So hopefully we have a 3-1 lead this time. You'll throw a real pitch out there and let them get some momentum. Take charge of the game, set the tone for the game. And me personally, I think if we just have a healthier pitching staff, if we got Soroka, Morton, Freed, Anderson, Smiley, or if not Smiley, then maybe one of those young cats. If we got all 4 or 5 of them strong going into the NLCS, I think it'll be a different story because I think our offense gonna always be there. The backs are gonna be there. We just needed more consistent clutch pitching down the stretch after we got the 3-1 lead. That's what I think.
But you do know that the Dodgers brought in probably the best clutch pitcher right now in Bauer.
I do, but we beat Bauer last year in the playoffs.
We barely. Remember, we didn't score against him. We scored that run against the bullpen.
You're right.
So remember,
now, but I just feel
let's remember the Cincinnati Reds lineup does not match the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup with the bats.
No.
So as where we got to be careful comparing last playoff to this playoff, because as the Braves didn't have the pitching, the Dodgers didn't have Bauer. And you throw Bauer in that series for 2 games, life changes a great deal. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. I don't think even if we have a healthy Soroka, that trumps Bauer.
What about a healthy Soroka and Morton?
I mean, it helps, but when you could throw Bauer for 2 games, Clayton Kershaw.
I won't be yelling Clayton in the playoffs now.
But Kershaw didn't pitch badly last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. He got lucky, but
he had a good run. So you got Bauer, Kershaw, and then the other guys that they have, and then we know that the Dodgers from 1 to 9, they have a better lineup than the Braves.
It's right there. It's like I say even to me.
I mean, so come on. So, Coach, hit me with your best shot. Why the Braves take down the Dodgers?
I think the Braves are good. The one thing that they got to improve if they're going to beat the Dodgers showed itself Monday night. You got to win those close games.
Thursday night.
I'm sorry. You got to win those close games. If they can do that, then I think they got them. Now, those additions, Morton and Smiley. And one good thing the Braves got, though, Will Smith is going to lead the league in saves this year. If he doesn't, he's going to be very close because he looked very good the other night pitching. He didn't allow nothing. They couldn't touch him. So if he
that.
And the thing that's going to hurt either one of the teams, and it always happens even though you don't want it to, is injuries. Anybody on either team gets hurt, that's a big-time player. That's going to shift everything. That could take you from a near 100-win season to an 80-win season just like that. So the Braves got to stay healthy. That's going to give them a chance. And I know, like I said, they loaded up on pitching, and they got a talented bullpen. But Braves have to start early and jump on teams early and force them. I think that they are good. Hold and baby, they got to hold all teams. And what's name didn't pitch bad Thursday night. Free, he pitched well. So
he pitched good.
Back and forth, the pitching staffs and injuries are going to be the key for the Dodgers and the Braves. I'm still not sold on San Diego. I see what they did. I see they loaded. They got this and that. I'm just not sold on them.
Now, Chris Drill make a good point. I know the Braves, they like to feast. I kind of love this about them. They love to feast on the bullpens each team. But you're right. You're right, Chris. It would be nice to start off scoring runs early instead of having to depend on, clutch 2-run pinch hit home run late. But we do know the Braves, they feast off of all teams' bullpens. They really can't wait to get that start out the game. So they bats start to wake up then. But yeah, the bats need to wake up a little bit more early, like from innings 1 through 5, instead of just sitting there waiting for innings 6 through 9 to start to play.
I must say this is one of the few times I will agree with Chardin, but I have to agree with that take. Dodgers have better pitching, hitting.
Y'all like salt and pepper, man.
Yeah, he likes to be one of my trolls. I understand his place, but I will agree with his take right there. All right. He said I like the Panda though. Yeah, Sandoval coming off the bench is
That was
definitely
a great hit the other night. Had me jumping up and down at work. And folks thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
I had to explain to my coworkers. I'm listening to the game. Panther just hit a home run.
Yeah, he can definitely play either third base or first base. So that definitely is a good player to have on the team. All right, AL division winners, wild card, real quickly.
I'll tell you a team that, well, they starting to talk about them now, but I was thinking about it before. And I know they bought old Tony La Russa out of retirement, but coach, them White Sox look like they might be time for them to start winning again. I definitely like the White Sox in the Central, but I think the Twins are going to be right there. The Indians, I think they back in rebuilding mode. Now, I don't know, for some reason, folks think Kansas City is going to be improved this year. Well, they got the bats. I don't know about the pitching. So we'll see. That Central Division might be a 3-team race if Kansas City play anything worth of what folks talking about. The West, Lord, if the Anaheim can get any pitching from anybody, they be right there. But the Astros, they think they lost a player or two, but they'll still be right there. But look out for them next year because they're gonna have some free agents. I don't think they're gonna be able to pay everybody. Oakland, you never know what they're gonna do. I'll say they'll be right there. You just never know. Most of their teams full of minor league players anyway. You never know where they're gonna stand up. But Oakland will be there. Seattle, forget about them. I'm not even thinking about Seattle. Not worried about them. They can start off the season 20-0, and guess what? They'll lose next 20 games. Not worried about Seattle in the West. It'll be Texas, new stadium, but not worried about you too much either right now. So, and as far as the East goes, Yankees, Red Sox, Braves. Take a pick. Red Sox, y'all still trying to come back from an awful season. So we got to see where you guys stand health-wise. The Yankees will be right there, and the Rays will be right there. But Kevin Cash, dude, you're going to have to come back from making one of the biggest bonehead decisions in World Series history. So I don't know how hot your seat going to be, but don't think we're going to forget about that now. So in the end, Rev, I see the Yankees, the White Sox, and I'm gonna pull for the Angels. Hopefully they can find a pitch. I'm gonna pull for the Angels to win the West, and the wild card teams will be the Astros, and whoever don't win the East, that'll be the wild card team. So I guess that'll be Tampa Bay Rays.
Coach, chime in. AL leaders or division winners and wild card.
Right now, everybody looking at the East, and the Yankees are in last place. They won't be that long. They won't be that long. I think this will be the year that they stay healthy, and I don't think anybody in the American League can stop the Yankees if they're healthy. And they got everybody clicking Jones and Stanton. If they can stay healthy a whole year, that's a combination close to almost 100 home runs. So I say the Yankees in the Central. I'm going with Kansas City to try to hold out everybody this year.
Well, Coach, so you believe in the hype?
Yeah, Kansas City. Chicago, I don't think Tony La Russa can lead Ants to a picnic. I think he passed his prime. He won one. I still don't believe he's that good. And then in the West, if Houston can survive getting hit every week by baseballs, I think they probably going to be the one to hang on in the West. Wild card teams, Tampa Bay and Los Angeles.
All right, so who wins the ALCS and who plays against the Braves and who wins?
I'll go Yankees versus the AL West winner. Maybe the Yankees.
You got them winning who wins the ALCS? Don't worry about giving us the.
Okay. Well, I got the Yankees winning the ALCS. Coach said they stay healthy. It's gonna be hard to beat them. So I got the Yankees getting back to the World Series versus my Braves, a repeat of 1999, but hopefully a different result.
Coach,
I agree with Red. Same thing. Yankees gonna come out. They're gonna find and stay healthy. They got pitching. They can come out and got hidden. They'll come out of the American League and play the Braves.
All right, so Coach and Red are now on the record stating that they believe that it will be a Braves-Yankees World Series with the Braves winning. So we'll check them out and see how accurate they are during the course of this season. All right, we're going to go back to a little basketball talk, for there was some news. We're going to start with Coach's boy first. Russell Westbrook and Stephen A. took some jabs against each other this past week. And it all started because of one, Stephen A. Smith not being impressed with Russell Westbrook's triple-double of 35 points, 20 assists, triple-double the other day. Basically, Stephen A. said, you've been doing this, but you ain't got no championships. You haven't won anything. And then Russell clapped back and said this in the tweet, and I will not say one of the words he shared in his tweet. One thing I won't allow to happen anymore is let people create narratives and constantly just talk junk for no reason about me, because I lay it on the line every night and I use my platform to be able to help people all across the world. Coach, let's start with you. Westbrook is your guy. So was the criticism by Stephen A. not being impressed by the triple-double warranted? And what did you think about Westbrook's comeback?
I just think Stephen A. came out with it at the wrong time. I was saying something after a guy had a feat of 30-plus points and 20-plus assists. It's not the time to come on talking about what he hadn't done. You celebrate something, because that hadn't been done by too many people in the NBA. So you talk about what he did, say that was a great accomplishment. Now, I don't think he so much as criticized him as he so much as brought up the point that Westbrook is a very athletic point, one of the probably most athletic point guard in the NBA, and all that he's done with his triple doubles. He just brought up the point that it has not translated to a championship. And it's no fault. He didn't say it was Westbrook's fault. He just said it hadn't. Then people started talking about the teams that he's been on, that they had a chance to win a championship. And the first thing I think of is that Warriors game when they were up 3-1 and they had a chance to put them out, and both Westbrook and Durant did not play well in game 5, and they end up losing. And of course, you know my feelings on that. Instead of coming back and saying, hey man, we got the squad to beat these Golden State Warriors. Let's come back and work at it. We got the team. Durant goes running to the Warriors, which I still say coward move. He's a coward in my opinion. You know he's a great player, but
Let's keep it on Westbrook, Coach. Let's keep it on Westbrook.
Yeah, but Westbrook, I mean, him saying that he is already a champion because of what he does, that kind of deflected away from what Stephen A. was saying. We talking about NBA championships, Russ. We know you're a champion. We know you've done a lot of great things, but don't deflect from the fact that you're not going to get it with Washington. Let's be honest. You got to be honest with yourself. You're not getting a championship in Washington. Now, does he go to a super team and try to win one? I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to have the chance to because of his contract. He's not going to have a chance to. So he's going to be satisfied with being on the list of Iverson, Barkley, Malone, Stockton, all those great players to never win a championship and go to the Hall of Fame.
All right, Red, what are your thoughts about the Stephen A. criticism of Westbrook? Was it warranted? And how do you like Westbrook's comeback?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was fair. I mean, Miley asked him a question, and he kept it strictly basketball. I mean, I understand Westbrook clapping back. I mean, I understand his wife clapping back too. You got to stand up for your husband. But I think, like Coach said, Westbrook, I think he kind of overreacted a little bit. I mean, Stephen A. wasn't really talking about him personally as a man, as a husband, as a father. I think we all respect Westbrook like that. And I think we all respect Westbrook that he leave it all on the court. Every play, he's one of those players that play hard every dribble of the basketball game. But as far as Stephen A. addressing the fact that he puts up triple doubles every night, but he has yet to win a championship ring, that's fair in the world of sports and basketball criticism, especially if someone did present a question to Stephen A. and he just answered the question. It's not like he bought it up himself or just started to take a personal attack on him. I don't think Stephen A. Smith has a personal issue with Russell Westbrook, but I mean, we all know he has dropped a lot of triple doubles is what Westbrook do now. I mean, we getting used to that. Triple doubles is his thing. I mean, he gonna go off. He's gonna go for every rebound. He's gonna do his best to get his teammates involved. He's gonna score the ball when available. But like Coach said, probably a championship ring, probably not in the cards at this point in his career. He had opportunity with him and Durant with a powerhouse in OKC. Durant had other plans. I agree with Coach. Probably wasn't the toughest move. I mean, you had him up 3-1. You probably want to run that one back. So, I mean, it is what it is. But like I say, I don't think Westbrook should think Stephen A. has anything personal against him. And I agree with Stephen A. He's strictly answering a basketball question, talking basketball-related issues. He's not talking about Westbrook as a man, as a husband, as a father, not talking about anything in his personal life, just keeping it strictly to his professional life, which means that him talking about him not having a ring or his triple doubles is fair criticism.
And I agree with your take, and I agree with Coach's take. And basically, Stephen A. said this. I heard it all before. That's what his take was. We celebrated Russ.
Was that you heard it all before?
Yeah, I heard it all before, right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we celebrated Russ going an entire season averaging a triple-double. So, I mean, he's already gotten his basketball flowers for being the triple-double king. This triple-double. Yeah, I mean, so Stephen A. is right. Why spend airtime celebrating 30 and 20 when that stuff never translates into any real victories, any meaningful playoff wins, a championship? And what Russ has to understand is as he gets the accolades, he's going to get criticism. Every player that's been considered Hall of Fame worthy, they get scrutinized. John Stockton, Karl Malone got scrutinized for not winning the championship. Or Patrick Ewing got scrutinized for not winning the championship. Charles Barkley got scrutinized for not winning a championship. And you see that the scrutiny is real. Barkley tried towards the end of his career to get one in Houston. We know that LeBron did not deal well with being scrutinized for not winning anything meaningful for the first 7 years of his career. And therefore, he went on to Miami. So Russell Westbrook has to realize there is no pass that he's going to get because he's been an MVP. He's been a perennial all-star, and he's projected to go to the Hall of Fame. So the criticism, I think, is fair. No need to keep on celebrating triple doubles when it doesn't result into playoff wins and championships. Coach, you got your Baptist finger up. What you need?
Coach, I'm finna call out somebody. Chris Traylor. I want him to explain what he said in his post. I want to
bring up the comment, Real.
Is it KD or Westbrook?
Yeah, KD. Now, what he said about KD and Harden running from OKC because of Russ, that's an incorrect statement.
What?
Now, it may be incorrect. It may be partially incorrect, Coach.
What about Harden? He killed everything.
Harden got traded because they didn't have enough money, and the owner did not want to go into the luxury tax.
Right.
So when it comes to Harden, that may not be completely accurate. Now, when it comes to KD, there were reports that he just didn't feel like he could win something with KD. with Westbrook.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look at that as the fact that game 5, we had to call it what it is. Both of them sucked. Both of them were terrible. And the thing is, you turn around and say you don't put the blame on either one. It ain't either one. It's both of them. Both of them lost that game because I almost lost a TV because of the way they were playing. And both of them were missing shots. One was 10 of 31, and the other one was 10 of 29 or 32. And it was just terrible. But as a competitor, you come back and you say, okay, we played these guys. We had them. Let's go. Let's come back and try to get and work this thing out and try to come back. And I know we can beat them, or you work hard to beat them. You don't just go to if Durant had gone to any other team, I probably wouldn't have said nothing. But to go to the team that beat you, that was terrible. I can't fall with that. I can't. I understand you want to win champ, but to go to the team that just beat you, and play, you're a coward. You're a coward. You won. You got your title, but the coward's way out. You ain't gonna win another one.
All right, Coach. You keep shifting the discussion to KD, man. Stop it.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
You shifted me with you.
So real quickly, since Coach wants to continue to shift to Durant, let's talk about Durant. Durant had a battle with Michael Rappaport, the actor. Many of us remember him as Remy in Higher Learning. And we see that Rappaport allowed a text exchange to go viral between him and Durant, where Durant made some homophobic statements, shared some very vulgar language in their dialogue. I have not yet learned how the dialogue began. All I have heard is that Durant was reprimanded for his tone and for his homophobic statements, and the NBA levied a $50,000 fine on him on yesterday. All right, so Red, I'll go first with you. What's your thoughts on what happened between Rappaport and Durant, and was the fine justified, or should the NBA have taken stronger measures?
First of all, let me talk about that fine. I think me and Coach on the same page there. Number the slap on the wrist, number the whipping with some little switches you went outside and got. Nothing is nothing. Yes, the NBA should have took a much stronger approach. That is nothing. I'll get back to that in a second. All right, now first of all, let's talk about Rappaport. First of all, let me say, Rappaport, you really are the lame one in this, okay? I mean, that was some lame stuff to make it public. Obviously, you and Durant go back and forth, like often. So obviously, Kevin felt comfortable to talk to you like that because I know you too, Michael. Now you can be kind of boisterous yourself. Now you probably weren't boisterous at that point, but I guess this was KD's turn. But to act like you some kind of choir boy, like you don't be talking like that, dude. Come on now, we can just look at your thoughts on Donald Trump to know how you can get yourself. So, and like I say, honestly, I don't agree with you making them public. If you had an issue with Durant, dude, just call him up on the phone and y'all deal with that like you've been dealing with these other tweets. Online or keep it behind closed doors. But for you to make the I guess he put them in his direct message, for you to make those public, come on now, man. The man put it in your inbox. If you put it in your inbox, obviously he didn't want nobody else to see. So for you to make them public, that's kind of a B move right there. But at the same time, Kevin Durant, dude, whatever coach feels about you, it's continue to get validated more and more and more. Dude, you're so immature. You are very fake. You come off like what they call an internet bully or an internet tough guy. Man, dude, I don't buy this tough guy. I'm this big thug. Oh, I'm going to wait till I see you. I'm going to do something. Man, dude, I don't buy that at all, nothing with you. Like, everybody thinking you are one of the most mentally weak superstar athletes that we've ever seen, dude. And the fact that you getting so sensitive online, the fact that you going back and forth like a little child, like I say, dude, it just shows you continue to show your immaturity. Continue. You still don't get it, man. You are a public figure. You can't be doing this stuff that regular people do, KD. I mean, we're going to find out about it, man. So, but it's getting to the point now, Coach, I don't think this guy even care what his public image is anymore. Because if he did care, I don't think he continue to get caught looking like he's looking. But not a good look for both guys. But that fine, no, if you're gonna say you want to punish Durant, punish Durant. Should have been suspended. A suspension and a fine.
Well, I think KD has just adopted the mentality that I'm coming for anybody who comes after me to offset people recognizing the fact that he hasn't really won anything of any real significance without being on a stacked team. And deep down, that's hurting him. And he's struggling with that. So therefore, he has this puncher's mentality that if anybody comes at me, I'm coming at them, because in some way, I think he actually regrets going to Golden State, because the recognition that he thought he was going to receive never really has come. And therefore, it's questionable of like where his basketball legacy will lie, because he got his 2 championships playing with a 2-time MVP, playing with the team that just before he got on them set a record for regular season wins. So I think he's just mentally fragile because of that reality, and this is why he's very sensitive to various subject matters pertaining to him.
Yes, he's the Ralph Tresvant of NBA basketball. That's all you got to say.
All right, that's an excellent take.
That was a good one, Coach.
All right, let's shift.
Oh, sorry.
All right, this is Coach's favorite topic. You all tell me, what's the draft update?
Can you believe now? Kyle Trask, Pitts is the name that everybody's talking about. That the tight end for Florida. He has shot up the draft boards because of his workouts and everything, and not even got him being picked as high as 4 to Atlanta. Unbelievable. Will Atlanta get him? And that's a good question. And also, there's a in-house kind of thing between the San Francisco 49ers. They say Shanahan wants Mac Jones, but the rest of them say no. They say no. We do not want Mac Jones. We don't need him, but Shanahan wants him, because I say Shanahan, I think he can do some work with him and get him to do what he was doing in Alabama. But everybody else said Fields. Now that's going to be an internal battle going on, and also the big tackle from Oregon, Penei Sewell, who was thought to be a top 5 pick, has slid all the way down to the middle of the draft, which is unbelievable because he's the best tackle in the best lineman in the draft, but he slid for some reason, and now they're saying that he can end up with the San Diego Chargers. I'm sorry. Are they the Los Angeles Chargers or the Los Angeles?
Los Angeles.
Okay, then he could slide down there where he would be reunited with his former quarterback, Justin Herbert from Oregon. So it's still a lot of missing pieces, a lot of places being yet determined. But only thing we know for sure in the draft, Trevor Lawrence is still number 1.
Red, anything you want to add?
Yeah, Coach is right. This is turning out to be one intriguing draft. Like I say, I can pretty much promise. I already got my day off work penciled in for this day. There's no way I'm gonna be at work trying to go through the motions, wondering what's going on. Yes, I will definitely be taking off this day because I got to see what happened, man. The Falcons are sitting in an intriguing spot in number 4. I'm hearing the same thing. Coach is hearing that. Well, I didn't know the other guys in the 49ers front office was on field. But so you saying Lynch and other guys want Fields and it's Shanahan that want Mac Jones, Coach?
Yeah.
Because if that's what it is, then I'm telling you it right now. 49ers drafting Mac Jones. So I hope what you hearing is right. Because if Shanahan love Mac Jones, Shanahan gets the final say. Okay. And what I also heard this week, for all those people talking about the Falcons trading down, but just so you know, the 49ers did offer the Falcons that package that they sent to the Dolphins, and the Falcons turned it down. The Falcons turned down 2 number ones, the same package they gave the Dolphins. Falcons turned down 2 number ones and a 3rd rounder because they obviously wanted to stay at the 4th spot. So just to let everybody know, say it again, 49ers went to the Falcons first and they turned it down. So maybe it's the Falcons over another team that's going to offer more. But if you turn down what the 49ers offering Falcons, obviously, I'm thinking they want to stay in that 4th spot. Now, who they looking at the 4th spot? That is the most intriguing part. I mean, because I already know there are no defensive players worth picking at the 4th spot. Okay. Sewell, do they want to add to the O-line? Coach say he's falling. I personally don't think Sewell is going to get past Cincinnati, but we see. But right now, the Falcons, if I had to take a guess, it would be quarterback or that Pitts guy. If it's anybody other than those 2 guys, I would be surprised, kind of be disappointed.
I think they're going Kyle Pitts. As I think about it now, at first I thought they were going quarterback. There are too many unknowns that people are casting about Justin Fields and Trey Lance. So I think the sure pick, because they know that Jacksonville's going quarterback, Jets going quarterback, 49ers going quarterback. It's Kyle Pitts. Reason being, Julio has, I think, at least 1 more year in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts is a game changer. You can put Kyle Pitts right alongside Calvin Ridley. And then you got your receiving combination for the next 5 to 6 years easily. Therefore, that makes Julio expendable. They could probably get some value for Julio after next year, get a draft pick, and then Matt Ryan will be off the books in about 2 years. They can deal with that last year. So because in this new NFL, you don't really draft a QB for them to sit on the bench. And because they extended Matt Ryan, because they drafted extended Matt Ryan, I think Kyle Pitts is the guy. So that's why they're not giving up the 4th pick, because they know if they trade it down, Kyle Pitts won't be there.
No.
And I've heard that regardless of position, the scouts say that Kyle Pitts is flat out the best player in this draft.
Whew. They got to take him. Oh, man. They got to take him.
He's the best player in the draft.
They got to take him. Because you can still draft Kyle Trask, who I heard his stock has been rising. So say they still want to get a quarterback in this draft. You can still take Trask. You can definitely take a running back in the 2nd round, 35. If you get Pitts with number 4 and I don't think Harris going to be there, but you can get ETN or maybe Trey Sermon from Ohio State. And there's one more running back I heard of. I don't remember his name. Somebody else. Coach, who is that other running back that's high up on the draft?
Williams from North Carolina.
That guy. Okay. One of those guys will be there at 35. So if the Falcons want a running back, you really don't need to take them in the 1st round. One of those running backs will be there at 35. So, and then we already know we got an offensive-minded head coach now. So that's why I keep telling all these guys about defense, man. Stop talking about defense. Our guy is a head. He's offensive-minded first. So if it's an offensive guy there, highly rated, like Pitts, man, Arthur Smith going to be like, I'll be a fool not to take this guy. I mean, so it's not
and let's remember, excuse me for cutting you off, let's remember, he featured the tight end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In Tennessee, who went on to New England. he featured the tight end. So the tight end is very important. And also, Matt Ryan, some of his best seasons because they were feeding the tight end. When you don't have the deep ball in your repertoire, it makes sense to be able to have that receiver who can go across the middle. And they even say Kyle Pitts can line up as receiver.
Oh yeah, he can. Rev, our offense might be back to 2016 just with the addition of Kyle Pitts. We add a running back. I'm just saying, with the way this draft can possibly turn out, and with an offensive head, offensive mind and head coach, and with them so desperate to keep Matt Ryan for another 2 years, we could possibly see a 2016 repeat. Possibly. I got to think positive now, but our offense could definitely, make a little noise.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see what the new coach can do with Matt Ryan, because it all starts right there. If he can't make magic with
well, we got to get a running game.
Well, yeah, we do have to get a running game, but we need a smarter quarterback too.
Of course. Of course.
A smart quarterback can help with the running game, putting the right people in place and calling the right run plays at the right time if there's a need to audible. So that goes hand in hand. All right, gentlemen.
I agree.
This has been a great show. Let's get ready to put a bow on it. Let's close it out with You Have the Right. Who wants at it first?
North Carolina. You have the right to take your time, not be in a hurry, go knee-jerk and pick somebody for your head coach that might not be the best fit. You got a whole summer to think about it, who you going to get. And the next person you get is going to have to be someone that can have them competing for the national title every year. So, North Carolina, you have the right to take your time and get a good head coach to follow up Roy Williams.
Thanks for bringing that up, Coach. That was one topic we forgot to bring up. Before we move on to Red, putting you on the spot, who was the better North Carolina coach, Dean Smith or Roy Williams?
Ooh.
And why?
I mean, I say Dean Smith. It was they named the Dean Dome after him. It's all over. That's it. End of story. No, I'm just kidding. Dean Smith developed. I mean, he developed a lot of players and helped a lot of guys go on to be successful. Decent head coaches and NBA players. So I'm gonna go with Dean Smith.
Red, who you rolling with? Dean Smith or Roy Williams?
Dean. Now, I was actually a fan when Dean was coaching. I don't think I ever cheered for Roy Williams Tar Heels, so it got to be Dean. They had more classic players. They had more old school players. A lot of Dean's guys are in the NBA or coaching in the NBA or have a lot to do with the NBA right now, shaping the NBA what it is to be. Thank you, Dean, for bringing all those characters to the NBA.
Let's remember, in half the years, Roy Williams won more championships than Dean Smith as the head coach at North Carolina. In 36 years, Dean Smith only won 2 championships. In 18 years as head North Carolina coach, Roy Williams won 3 championships.
Wow.
Dean Smith's winning percentage is better overall, 7.76 to Roy Williams 7.48. And if Roy Williams would have matched Dean Smith in years at North Carolina, it's quite conceivable that he would have had way more losses than Dean Smith did. Dean Smith at 36 years went 879, 254, and Roy Williams went 485 and 163. But the trump card is Roy Williams won 3 championships.
Yeah, I gotta respect the rings.
So if you're one of those persons who base greatness off rings, I don't know how you can put Dean Smith over Roy Williams when Roy Williams won 3 chips in North Carolina in half the time that Dean Smith had in North Carolina. But that's another story for another. Okay, Vincent said Roy was gifted some major talent at UNC. I will give the nod to Dean as the better coach. I I don't think Dean Smith ever won a championship without being gifted with some great teams now. I mean, James Worthy and Michael Jordan on the first championship. Then he had a bunch of NBA players on the second championship. Eric Montross, George Lynch. Who were some of the other guys on that championship that he won against Michigan, Coach?
Montreux Lynch. Oh, golly. Was Jimmy Black playing? I think
No, not Jimmy Black wasn't on there. But I mean, he was not starved of talent. Let's just call it what it is, man. You know, so those teams that won in Carolina, they were all gifted tough teams. Yeah. I don't know about that, Vince. I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna say he had a tougher road because Roy Williams coached in some tough ACC years. Let's remember when Roy Williams coached, that's when Maryland was at its height. And Maryland even won a championship. So, you know, I don't know if it's just that simple. I think people love Dean, and Dean was the master of the four corners offense. And, you know, he coached guys up. If you want to say he coached guys up and became better pros, that's a fair assessment. But Roy Williams did win 3 championships.
I'll take all it.
Yeah. All right. We got a little Roy Williams and Dean Smith in, so thank you, Coach. And we're going to get to the people's You Have the Right, Coach. I'm sorry, Red, what's your You Have the Right?
Well, in addition to the Braves getting their first win today, Shelby has a right to make a return appearance on the Red and Rev show. I really, like I said, I enjoyed her appearance today. So, Shelby, you have a right to come back. I can't wait for your next appearance. I know you're not going to take it easy on me. I know you was only being nice this first time. I know you're going to be much tougher the next time, but still, I can't wait, baby. Bring it on.
All right. And you see Kelly, she says Jackson State has the right to be Southern. Thomas knows my daughter went to Southern. I don't have a dog in the race. I'm not a diehard Southern. I do want Southern to win, so I'm not going to talk trash because I don't need Kelly coming for me. If Southern wins, I'm not invested.
Where did Kelly be the big bully now on the show? I ain't scared of you, Kelly. Just wait till me and you have a battle.
Well, if I got a dog in the race, I would come for it, but I'm not. I don't bleed baby blue and gold, Southern baby blue and gold. I bleed maize baby blue and gold.
There we go.
So that let's just put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, I got what you're saying, Brother Vincent. Adia Barnes, you have the right to be the third black female coach.
Yeah.
To win the NCAA women's basketball tournament.
I'm going up.
I'm feeling you. Ari McDonald, I want her to make some history because she is an exciting point guard, and it'd be lovely to see those two go out on top, or Ari McDaniels declaring for the WNBA draft to go out on top. So I'm really hoping for that to happen. All right. Well, we had a great show today. Thanks again to Shelby McDonald for making the show even better today through what she shared with us on today. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. Red Kelly has a message for you. She says, I am not a bully. I am a sweetheart.
Yeah, Richard Nixon said, I'm not a crook.
And then Thomas said, coming up today, Armadillo bowling and possum skateboard.
Man, city exists. I'm giving my encyclopedia. I'm gonna look that city up, Tanya.
Oh man! Thank you everybody for watching the Red and Red Sports Show. We'll be back next week, episode 184, 11 o'clock, same Facebook page, YouTube channel. Tell somebody about the show if you enjoyed it. Share it with somebody. See y'all next week, everybody. Be blessed and happy Resurrection Day to everybody who celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Tomorrow is the Christian Super Bowl. Even Red is going to tune into somebody's service on tomorrow. Be blessed, everybody.
I'll be sharing your service, Red, on my page.
I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to call you out. I need a Red site at 9:30 in the morning. All right, everybody. Be blessed.